Let's get. All right, we're recording. We always forget that is that's our Achilles heel here. So let's go ahead and get started. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, my name is Alex Sabio. I invest in luxury short-term rentals. I live here in Southern California, and I co-founded this group with Savannah. We're healthcare professionals investing in real estate. I have a W-2 job. I'm a respiratory therapist. Hopefully former healthcare professional investing in real estate. So that's kind of what we're leading to. And Savannah, why don't you take it away?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Savannah. I'm a registered nurse. I also live in Los Angeles, California. Met Alex through multiple meetup groups, and we decided to kind of take our passions of really helping healthcare professionals start investing in real estate and create this group, and love it. We have amazing guests coming here every Monday night. This will be recorded. I will upload it to my YouTube channel. I'll drop that in the chat right now after Jeff gets started. But I invest primarily in apartment syndications, jumping into the short-term rental space, but really providing passive investment opportunities for people who wanted to invest in syndications passively. So if you're interested in any of that, please reach out. Happy to be here. Jeff, I will let you give a little intro, and then talk about, Alex had something a little bit, huh, Alex?
Yeah, and one thing, guys, if you guys could do us a favor and just share, if you like our message, just invite others to our group, or even share the video. We're live streaming on Facebook right now. But yeah, Jeff Iloulian, he's the CEO and co-founder of HostGPO. He actually has like an economics degree in Columbia, if I read that right. He's actually a lawyer. It's crazy, like where I always tell people where you start isn't where you're gonna finish. So and eventually he wound up operating like something crazy, right? Like over 100 vacation properties, like luxury mansions here in Southern California, which I'm really interested in. So Jeff, please let us know who you are, how you got into short-term rental, what do you do now, and what is HostGPO and how it could help us?
Yeah, absolutely. So very similar to a lot of your guys' stories, I would imagine. I was a professional working as a lawyer at a big law firm, and I was working for several years, and it got into the short-term rental industry like most people by accident. There was a house across the street from me that came up for lease, and I had kind of heard, this was back in 2014, 15. So I had kind of heard about some people doing lease arbitrage or this vacation rental market. So what I started doing was leasing units, furnishing units, and then re-renting them. And on vacation rental platforms like Airbnb, started with one, had 5, had 50, was operating about 150 units at a time when we were our biggest. Probably set up over 250 units, everything from, like Alex said, luxury mansions all the way to apartment buildings and things like that. So really have been in this industry for quite a while, has seen a lot of changes, been through a lot of the different waves of it, and I'm excited about where things are. HostGPO really came from some of the problems that I was having scaling my vacation rental business, and that I think a lot of us have, which is I was doing the 40 shopping cart IKEA checkouts and the Costco runs, and having my team build furniture all day, and doing all of this stuff, and realizing that being, for those of you that are in LA, like I was on Pico Robertson trying to buy 50 mattresses, and like it was a problem. I couldn't understand why I couldn't find the inventory. I wasn't getting the pricing that I wanted. And a lot of the people in the space, especially the bigger folks, the several thousand unit people, they had procurement solutions in place. And so like in the medical industry and hospitals and pharmaceutical industry, there are GPOs, there are group purchasing organizations. So HostGPO is the first group purchasing organization specifically for the vacation rental industry. So what we did is we went to brands like West Elm, Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, Standard Textile, Brooklinen, Public Goods, Rugs USA, Society 6, and I'll go through these and talk about why we partnered with these brands. But we partnered with the brands that we were buying from, whose products make sense for vacation rentals, and we've created partnerships where we have the guaranteed best discounted pricing, so that nobody has to negotiate anymore. No other company gets better pricing than us from any of those brands. Our pricing is better than if you have trade pricing with them already, or you have some sort of connect that's an interior designer, right? All of our discounts are better than anything else that's out there, which is how we were able to kind of, corner this industry and corner this market so that nobody has to kind of go out and negotiate individual deals on any purchasing. So that's the big overarching story. I'm happy to go into HostGPO in a little bit more detail and talk about like why these vendors, how it benefits you to have, certain types of sheets over others. Happy to talk about vacation rental stuff in general, but that's the quick background on what HostGPO is, hostgpo.com, and a little bit about my history as well.
Awesome. Love it. Such a gap that you filled, which is really kind of how the best business ideas kind of come to be. So Jeff, maybe kind of explain your ideal customer, like who's coming to you? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So the kind of ideal customer is somebody who is either, honestly, the people that get the most bang for the buck out of HostGPO are people setting up new units. I mean, it's great if you have more than 5 or 10 units and you're constantly, even if you have a handful of units and you're reordering sheets and reordering shampoos and stuff, you're going to get a lot of benefit. But especially for people setting up new units, just the amount of savings that you're able to get are phenomenal right out of the gate. And then, for us, most of our members are either people with 5 or 10 units who are scaling and they're getting closer to that, 20, 50 plus units. And we also have members that have several thousand units. Some of the biggest vacation rental companies in the space buy through HostGPO because collectively, just to give you an idea about our scope, right? Collectively, HostGPO has almost 200,000 units between all of our members. So that's and that's in the US and Canada, and that's the volume that we're purchasing at as a group. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the scope. So ideal HostGPO member is somebody that's a professional in the space that's about to either set up a unit or is reordering supplies and things like that constantly.
Yeah. So how does the setup and the shipping kind of work for that process?
Yeah. So the way that signing up and ordering and shipping works for HostGPO is you go to hostgpo.com, you fill out a sign up form, which is, just a couple questions about how many units you have, where you are in your vacation rental, journey. And once you fill out the form, which I'm sure a lot of you are doing right now, like you will have a slot to book an onboarding call. During that onboarding call, somebody from our membership team will speak to you, find out where you're buying from, what problems you're having, what you're about to purchase, and then approve your account once we know that you're a professional in the space. And once we approve your account, you'll be able to access our member portal. Now, what I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask and we're wondering is, well, what are the discounts? Why can't you tell me right now, like how much percentage am I going to get off of Brooklyn and sheets? Like how much percent? And the reason why I can't do that is because this is a public meetup that we're doing, and we have confidentiality agreements in place. So we cannot actually say the pricing until you are a member. What I can tell you is that our discounts range from 25 to 75%, and they tend to be in the middle of that range, depending on what you're looking at. So, and I can also tell you that they are the best discounts for any of these businesses that they offer for our industry. So that being said, once your account is approved, you're able to log into our member portal, which really functions to do 2 things. 1, it's going to show you what our deals are at each vendor. And 2, it's going to show you how to place an order. So for something like a Rugs USA or a Helix mattress, right, you're going to be able to, sometimes it's as easy as getting our coupon code and putting it in their site to check out. And sometimes it's filling out an order form or getting your account upgraded for when you purchase on their site. So each of these brands has their own way of doing purchasing, but that's the purpose of the onboarding call, is to show you how the website works and help answer specific questions about shipping for each person. Now, I know one thing. Sorry, Samantha, you want me to keep going? You want to hop in?
What are the fees associated to have a portal on your account? So
yeah,
apply and then you get on a portal and then that's where you see the deals.
Yes. So it's a membership based community. So it's kind of like a Costco, right? Where you pay an annual membership fee, and your first 3 months, no matter what, are free. So you can sign up. We're not trying to hide the ball. There's no commitment. You'll log in and you can order from any of these vendors. It's once you log in, you'll have full access to everything. After that 3-month trial, for somebody that has, let's say, 10 units, your total membership fee is $120 a year total for all 10 units, and you will save that on one order of one couch, for sure, or one rug, right? If you don't save more than your membership fee, we will refund you the difference, but it is physically impossible unless you don't place any order. So that's kind of how the membership fees work, and then it's scaled up from there. So somebody with 500 units is paying a different rate than somebody with 5 units.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I love because you're a host and you know exactly what needs to go into these properties, and you put like high-end stuff. This isn't going to like Big Lots or Walmart, which is like a lot of the trips that we're making when we're setting up. We're going to Walmart, Home Depot, and all of this. I mean, you're putting nice high-end stuff, and the amount of discounts you're getting, like you said, you'll make your money back within the first order. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And like to that point, why, like, they're great brands. Like West Elm is a great example. In my opinion, West Elm is the gold standard for a vacation rental unit for a bunch of reasons, especially with our discount, because all of a sudden you get access to a product that is contract grade. We have contract grade, commercial grade options on there, which means that they're products that are tested for wear and tear, as opposed to just, the other things like other random, Wayfarers or IKEAs, right? You're getting commercial grade contract furniture. And with our discount, it's coming out to around the same price as like an IKEA, couch, or an, Ashley's furniture couch. And so the difference is, what a lot of people don't think, or what you don't think about when you're setting up a unit, is the time associated with putting the wrong things inside. So, and the other costs associated with it. So a really great example of that is, a pull-out couch. So I did a lot of pull-out couches from a lot of other brands, and or even just like regular couches from like, the Wayfarers or the Living Spaces or whatever it is, right? Once you put a piece of furniture in your unit, and let's say it lasts like a year, the problem with that is when that breaks, you have all the following costs associated with it. If it's a bed, you might have to refund the guest partially for the fact that bed's not opening and not working. If it's or for whatever it is, the dining table's not working, right? You have a refund. Then you got to figure out how to dispose of it and get rid of it. And if you're going to try to do that during a turnover, and if you do it during a turnover, you have to coordinate that. And then once you coordinate that, you have to coordinate the new item arriving at the same time. You have to buy a second couch probably sooner than you would otherwise. Then, I've had situations where my team was, trying to open the bed or whatever it was and slice their hand open. And then you got, that, like, there's so many costs associated with buying the wrong piece of furniture, let alone like, I guess, injuring themselves or whatever it is, that buying the right thing at the beginning at around the same price is just a no-brainer. And so that's why we partner with brands like West Elm. We try to, it's not like we only have luxury products. We also have a lot of things that really fit in that value space. So a really good example of that would be, we have a partnership with Helix mattresses, and that partnership spans a whole spectrum of things. So it spans the super high-end luxury mattress, which is, rated the best mattress of the year in 2020 and all this stuff, right? So you can get that mattress at a huge discount, but you can also get, you also have access to products that you can't get otherwise. So we have access to a hospitality mattress from Helix that is perfect for a vacation rental, because why is it a hospitality mattress? First of all, it's 10 inches instead of 12 inches, but most people that doesn't really make a big difference for. The price is extremely competitive, and it's better than your random piece of foam that you might buy somewhere else that may or may not have fiberglass or have issues with it, or just be not last that long. It's a real mattress from a real company with a real warranty, and the price point is value. I mean, it's a value mattress price point. So again, it's not just that these are only kind of super luxury brands, it's bringing these luxury brands and luxury feels down into a regular price point. I can keep going about that. Specifically, another example of that is Standard Textile. So this is like a huge eye opener for a lot of people. Standard Textile they're the largest hospitality linen company in the US. Honestly, they also sell a lot of sheets to most hospitals, right? So they're a huge manufacturer of sheets. And so they have products that make sense for vacation rental units, whether you're going value, mid-level, or high-end. They have certain products that you don't even know that you need until you find out about them. So one is pre-laundered sheets. So if you're about to set up a new house, like Lenny's about to set up a new house, and I don't know how many beds it is, but let's just say it's a 4-bedroom house, and he's about to do, 3 sets of sheets per each bedroom, plus towels, plus big towels, small towels, etc. So just being able to order those, first of all, at a price that's, as good, if not better than, the Costco Charisma line, etc., whatever else you're looking at, and be able to get that pre-laundered to go right onto the bed, and then keep your inventory, in your closet that's already pre-laundered. So when you have to throw a new sheet on, because of damage or whatever, it's already ready to go, right? Just that 100 loads of laundry or 80 loads of laundry that you're going to have to save from your setup time is one thing that's worthwhile. Another thing is for hospitality sheets, they have a color-coded thread system on the inside. So the fulls, the twins, the queens, they're all color-coded on the inside with a thread, so that your cleaning team can tell the difference between your queens and your kings, and if there's damage, which one to replace, or they can turn the beds faster, right? All of these types of built-in features are available through a standard textile that you're just not going to get from a Milani or a Utopia or an Amazon Basics. Not to mention the quality of the sheet itself, significantly higher than a lot of those other brands. I mean, Amazon Basics, if you try to put those on your bed, I think that people's expectations are just higher than that nowadays in vacation rentals, just as the general level of rentals have increased. So I really believe that standard textile is, a good spectrum of options. And another part of being a HostGPO member is, you don't just have to listen to me telling you, like, this is what I think. You can get samples of all of these products because they love our members and they love what we do. So they'll send you samples of a couple different pillowcases. So you can say, hey, I'm between the Express line and the, Gradient line, and I don't know which towel to get, right? And they'll help walk you through that process, because just like us, they are really focused on setting up, helping you get to a point where you can order consistent product from a company that's been around for, 80 something years. And, especially as you start to scale, you get to the point where you might need to just order one box of pillowcases, as opposed to ordering, a box of sheet sets. And all of a sudden you end up with extra flat sheets and extra, these types of processes. Putting these types of processes in place make a huge difference in the long run, right? Otherwise, you're going to end up with a cream colored top and a white pillowcase over here and an off-white home goods pillowcase over there. And the level of your unit's just not going to look as good. So again, that's another example of kind of the spectrum of value, mid-level, and luxury type products that are available through somebody like a standard textile.
So they send you like free samples?
So they send you free samples. All of that.
Yeah, you had me at free samples.
I was like 10 minutes of talking now. It's like, oh, so I get free samples. Yeah, you get free samples.
But I tell people it's just like Costco. It's just like Costco, but I mean, way higher level, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
And you guys, not only the sheets, I mean, the color coding is genius. I mean, that makes it so much easier for our cleaners and stuff. But you guys offer like shampoos and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah. So there's two different amenity partners. One is World Amenities, which is great for travel size bottles, especially if you're buying like, a pack of several hundred at a time. And, if you have a decent amount of units. The other one that's really, really popular is Public Goods, especially for people that have, kind of around the 5 to 10 unit range. And one of the reasons why Public Goods is great is you can get these 12-ounce bottles at an insanely good price. They're, competitive with like Dial, but it's this really beautiful packaging and bottle that looks extremely luxury and feels really luxury. So again, a great option for your basics like your olive oils or your shampoos, hand washes, that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people are already purchasing from Public Goods or have heard of that brand before. Again, this is the way that you can kind of unlock the best pricing from them.
Yeah, and I think just that appeal of having all of these products, you're stepping up the game, and your reviews are gonna, you're gonna have awesome reviews and bring in more revenue. And the clientele you're bringing in, you're getting, a higher end clientele, which will make managing a lot easier. So I really love that. Nadia, you had a question?
Yeah. Hi, Alex.
Nadia, we met this weekend. Yeah.
We did. We did. That was so much fun.
Right.
So I have a question, but before that, I'll just say that no one's paying me to say this. Whole GPO is not paying me to say this, but I actually had a call with them a couple of months ago. They did send me samples of sheets. Well, they sent pillowcases, and they sent me towels. They sent me shampoos. I mean, it's legit, guys. And then this Friday, I'm actually meeting with somebody on their design team to help me set up my new build in the Smokies. It's coming unfurnished. I know a lot of people in vacation markets don't like to buy things unfurnished because they're like, it's so much hassle, but I'm really excited for that. So I don't have any complaints. My experience has been great so far. I did order some stuff locally, like for my home and stuff. And my only gripe is that the shipping is delayed. And I know it's not your fault. I'm just wondering, given the amount of volume that you guys are doing, is there any sort of leverage that you have in terms of, getting items more quickly for your clients?
So it's a great question. First of all, thank you so much, Nadia. I'm excited to hear that you are having a really good and positive experience with HostGPO. And I see a couple other members in here, just kind of recognize names, but that's awesome to hear. As far as shipping, and that's a big question that we get a lot, is, there's only so much that we can do as far as the global shipping crisis is concerned. But that being said, as HostGPO, we do get priority shipping, and we do have access to priority customer support in general when things do come up. Now, one thing that Nadia just talked about is this design pilot program, and this, Nadia, will actually solve that specific problem as far as furniture is concerned for you. And just so everybody's clear, furniture is the #1 delayed thing. Everything else is pretty much fine. So the amenities, the mattresses, the rugs, the art, all of that is either manufactured in the US or is housed in the US with large stocks of inventory, and there haven't been any significant delays there. Furniture is really the main course of delay. And there's two things. One, during your onboarding call, especially if you're on a tight timeline, there's very specific ways to shop on, Pottery Barn, West Elm, for example, to ensure that you're ordering things that I don't want to say are not going to get delayed, but have a very low likelihood of getting delayed. And the way to do that is by, one, filtering on those websites by in stock and ready to ship items. And I say that because the biggest delays are coming from shipping containers that are getting stuck coming overseas. So what that looks like is, if you're ordering an item that says in stock and ready to ship, and the delivery window is 3 to 4 weeks, that is way, way less likely to get delayed than an item that says 6 weeks that isn't in stock and ready to ship. Because what 6 weeks means is that it is coming on a shipping container from overseas, and that might be the source of the delay. So that's just a quick tip on shopping and how to shop on those sites. They have filters for in stock and ready to ship based on zip code. Their delivery estimates tend to be fairly good, especially for in stock and ready to ship items. Second point there is, I don't want anybody to hold me to this, but what I can tell you is I am fairly confident that the shipping delays as far as furniture goes will start to lighten up in about a month. That's just kind of what I have, heard. So I feel pretty confident that the real pain that we're going through right now in shipping delays is going to start subsiding soon. And then the third point for shipping delays, it really goes to this design services program. So one thing I'll touch on really quickly, because I know Alex had mentioned the shipping is great and the delivery is great. So the thing about the shipping in general, before I go into the design program, is when you order from West Elm, right? If you order $2,000 worth of furniture, or you order $20,000 worth of furniture, or $50,000 for a whole house, you pay a flat rate delivery and installation fee of $249 for all the big furniture items. So the couch, the dining table, the bed. And what that fee includes is them bringing out the furniture for $249, or if you're really in the boonies, maybe it's like $299, but it's around $200-300. They're going to bring out the furniture, they're going to build it for you, and they're going to put the bed in the second bedroom floor, or the second floor bedroom. They're going to put the couch in the dining room. They're going to put the furniture where you want, build it, and take away the boxes from the trash. So just that alone is worth the time saving and the price differential of having to do something like, build IKEA furniture or build Wayfair furniture, anything like that, right? So there's the flat rate delivery and installation, which is what that's called. Separately, yes, go for it, Savannah.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's so awesome to have the differences too, because sometimes as like a first timer investor, it's your first short-term rental, you're in there, you're setting everything up, you're ready to go. And then maybe as you start to acquire a couple, you're like, all right, I need to start hiring this out. My time's better spent doing this, managing this, and you can kind of grow and scale. So I think it's super, super cool that it has those options, because that's huge as an investor when you have 100 other things that you need to do when you're setting up some of these short-term rentals. I'm super curious. So since you've started this business, have you acquired more short-term rentals? And since if you have, like, have things happened in your setting up your short-term rentals that now you're like adjusting your business plan and kind of like growing from there?
So me personally, with my rentals, HostGPO has really become a full-time thing for me just because of the rate that we're growing and what's going on. So while I am still involved with my vacation rental company, it's not as not as involved. That being said, we order everything through, and we had for a while, right? We've been ordering from Standard Textile. We've been ordering from Public Goods. And so what's really nice is, and we've been ordering from Rugs USA. So what's been really nice is that now that we order, and I know what the order is every year I restock, the same order from Standard Textile of towels and linens and whatever I want for inventory to go to my certain, units or garages or warehouses or wherever I kind of, store the furniture. So that in that sense, it's been a much more streamlined operating process. From a unit setup perspective, there is zero chance that I would ever set up a unit and not do the design program, like a new unit from the ground up that Nadia was talking about. I would never, it's not, it doesn't even, I can't fathom doing it without that. And that program, which I'll talk about very quickly because it's so amazing for people setting up new units, is if you're setting up a big project, right, a new house, and you're going to spend over $15,000, right? It's a pilot program, so that's the limit right now. You're spending over $15,000 on your furniture from West Elm, Williams Sonoma brands, et cetera, combined. What they'll do is we have a partnership with them where they will assign you a local interior designer, and that interior designer will design your house for you for free, which is crazy. I'm going to stop there because they'll design the house for you for free. And then there's the ability to pay like this upgraded installation that includes the interior designer coming to the house with a checklist and running your installation day. So everything from checking the items when they come in, styling them out, consolidating everything in the delivery together. That whole part of the installation, as well as, to go to Nadia's point about shipping delays, managing the inventory. So if you tell the interior designer, my go live date is 10 weeks from now, they will order only things that are going to arrive in time. And if something is delayed, they will email you and say, hey, this item is coming, it's 2-3 weeks later than it should. Are you okay with that? Or do you want to swap for any of these items? Just that alone is such a game changer on time and management. So you don't have to, the design program is incredible. You don't have to do, and you don't have to order everything from them, which is great, because what a lot of our members do is they'll get the Williams Sonoma kitchen, right, with all the basic wear stuff, right? You don't necessarily have to put all clad in there. You can order your mattresses from Helix. You can order your rugs from Rugs USA. You can order your art if you want from Society 6. But as long as you get over $15,000 between your West Elm, Pottery Barn, Williams Sonoma, Rejuvenation. Williams Sonoma has 8 brands. So if any of those 8 brands combined, that will qualify you to be a part of the design program. And for those of you that are interested in the design program, when you sign up to have your onboarding call, you can just mention that you're about to set up a new unit, and they will tell you more about the design program. We have a separate team on HostGPO side that just handles the design pilot program. So once you have your meeting there, you will be able to start moving forward with that process. Couple caveats about the design program. One is it's ideal for people to have an 8-week plus timeline. So if you're trying to use the design program to get something up in a month, I would recommend that you just, when you're ready to go, just start buying things that are in stock and ready to ship. They're going to consolidate all your big furniture items for you anyways. We're happy to help you out with walking you through that. There is some extra time associated with getting the designer assigned, sending them the floor plan, having them send you the layout and the design and the mood board and working with you on what you want. So that process is really great as an 8-week plus. But a lot of people are, they're closing in 60 days or they're closing in 6 weeks or whatever it is, and all of a sudden, as long as you for sure are going to close, you can start going through that process, or you have a tenant, or you have a time, you're okay with having that timeline laid out for you. So that's a lot about the design program, but just I know it's something a lot of people are interested in, especially setting up new units, especially who are really busy with other occupations.
Yeah, even just the interior design aspect of it is so helpful. Like just having someone come in there with different taste and design it to what's kind of in the market and stuff is super, super cool.
And they'll work with you too. It's not just them saying you have to buy all of this stuff, right? You can say, hey, here's a couple other listings or pictures of homes that I really like, and this is the vibe that I'm going for. And they'll work with you to try to fit that aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely. So when a newbie short-term rental owner going out and they're setting up their house, what percentage of the furnishings do you think your company is able to provide? Like,
great question.
A one-stop shop.
Great question. I would love for that answer to be 100, but it's not. And so I'll tell you what I don't have. We don't have TVs. We don't have, what else don't we have? I don't know. There's a handful of things that not a lot, right? All your furniture, furnishings, linens, shampoos, mattresses, rugs, and art, we pretty much have covered, which is a large majority of it. That being said, there's little one-off items like, depth markers for your pool if you need to put a thing that says how deep the pool is, right? That kind of stuff, we don't have like everything.
Or like the tech items, like the cameras and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, technology and appliances are like our two biggest holes right now. And part of the reason is that we won't put anything on HostGPO that's not the best out there, right? And so we're not going to say like this. I mean, look, I have TVs that I'll personally recommend. I personally think that TCLs are great TVs for vacation rentals because it's one remote, and the remote has like the built-in Roku, and you start to realize that having a second remote and a second device plugged in and an extra cord and then an extra set of batteries and all of that becomes way more of a headache than just one remote, and it's easier for people to use. So like there are things that I definitely like and would recommend, but unless we can get better pricing on that than what's generally available, we're not going to put it on here because we don't want to waste your time, and you just go buy it from Best Buy, right? When we have something that's better, we'll put it on. So technology and appliances right now are the big holes. But we're also, as we grow, we're constantly negotiating with new vendors, and we're constantly trying to bring things in that makes sense. We've tried to take the biggest ticket items that we can off of the checklist, right? Sheets, mattresses, furniture, those are big ticket items. So that being said, those are the areas that we want to grow in the fastest. And then our kind of long-term goal is also to be able to provide, utilities and business solutions to people. So for example, like, wouldn't it be great if you got $5 or $10 off all of your Spectrum bills every month because you're a vacation rental host or Verizon or whatever your internet service provider is? I mean, I probably had several hundred, internet bills at a time. So it starts to add up, especially as you start to scale.
Jeff, what about like a kitchen setup? Like when you go to Airbnb, like you have to check on all these things. Could I just go to HostGPO and say, I have an empty kitchen?
It's like we had a conversation before, and you're just asking me all the questions but we didn't. So just so everybody knows, it sounds like it's a setup, but it's not. We have a new kitchen checklist that we put together with Williams-Sonoma, and so what that looks like, and I'm happy to circulate the link to. I think there's a public version of this landing page, which I'll also put in the chat in a second, but. It's a list of all the kitchen items that we recommend. Now, once you're a HostGPO member, if you want to order those from Williams-Sonoma, the price drops significantly because of our discount. But at the very least, it's just a good kind of checklist for things that you should get. And if there are things that are on there that we don't have partnerships for, or aren't from Williams-Sonoma, for example, they're on there just for your use. So that's the kitchen checklist. One of the other kind of things that we're working on, which I'll tease now, is that we're trying to do co-branded boxes with each of these companies. So what that looks like is if you're setting up a new unit, rather than having to order, figure out which shampoo and conditioner, et cetera, to buy, or which pot and pan set, or which, sheets to get, you'll be able to, if you want, say I'm setting up a 3-bedroom I want a kitchen, and one click the entire prepackaged box for you. So that's something that we're working on. Hopefully those boxes are going to start trickling in over the next couple months. They're almost done. So
yes, we need that. We need
like
that.
how much time does that save? Like Alex, how much time would that save you? That sort of feature?
Hours.
And it just seems like insane, that feature.
Just the 20 trips to Walmart.
Right.
And you're going to Walmart, everything's garbage. I mean, I don't know, Walmart might sue me here, but everything you get there is going to break down after a while, and he's selling like quality items here. So
I mean, there is a spectrum, right? There is the like base level pot and pan basic set that you can buy for, $50 or $60 that has, 8 pieces or, 6 pieces or whatever. Then there's like all clad. And then somewhere in the middle is this like perfect sweet spot of the Cuisinart stainless steel 11-piece professional set. That's like so marginally priced over, the other options. And it's just going to last the longest. It's not so expensive that you're going to get upset when it gets ruined. It's the right amount of pieces, and it's so competitively priced that's just the one that we recommend.
hey, Lenny, I think you had a question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him, where did I get that checklist at? Because I can really use it right now.
So here, I don't know if you have. I don't know if you have to log. Yeah. Sorry, Lenny, go for it.
Yeah, not a problem. So do you have that checklist for every room? And so you start off saying, hey, this program is really great when you have 5 or 10 properties. But if you're buying, say, short-term rental properties and they're not furnished, you maybe say you buying one at a time, or one every quarter, or whatever. Like, will that still work? Especially when you have to furnish these puppies.
100%. If you're furnishing a new unit, just period, if you're furnishing a new unit and your budget isn't something like, okay, don't get me wrong. If you can buy things on Facebook Marketplace and you have the time to like drive around and go look at the items and like determine if they're actually right, and then like you just own a truck and you can like have a bunch of friends that are capable of lifting things over 50 pounds, like that's what you should do. I'm not going to dissuade that person from doing that, because honestly, I was at the Rose Bowl flea market with a headlamp and 2 24-foot trucks and like 8 movers, and I bought 2 truckloads of furniture once, and that was the right thing in that moment at that part of my business. But absent that, like, which I don't even think was a good idea in the long run, but forget about that. Absent all of that, if you're setting up a new unit, I really can't think that there's anything else that makes more sense. You're going to save it on literally a rug, and let alone your linens. I'm going to post a link in this chat, by the way. I'm not sure if you have to be a member. I think this is public, actually. So I think you can look at this, because this doesn't have pricing on it. This is not a finished page, but you can see the kitchen checklist in here. It's just a free checklist. If you want to use it, you can. What's cool is that if you are ordering through HostGPO after you sign up and you get approved, and you do that click here button, it'll add all those items to your shopping cart so that you can like edit the quantities up and down. Or maybe you're like, I don't want this microwave. Or maybe you're like, I really want an espresso machine, and you can add that, right? So it'll allow you to kind of customize it, but this will get you like most of the way there. And then again, this is all the retail pricing. When you click on it, once you're a HostGPO member, it'll drop down to the HostGPO pricing.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, Jeff, earlier when I was asking kind of like your experience or your activity still in the real estate space was to see kind of how connected you are with your consumers and what they're wanting. But just the fact that you're already developing these products, the design feature and the like one shot click of a button, furnish your whole, I'm assuming this is like people, Airbnb hosts have brought these, like, we need this, these are the features we need. And you guys are actively building them out, which is so awesome to hear, because you'll continue to evolve with the needs of what your hosts need.
100%. I mean, this is a community before anything else. And a lot of the vendors that we partner with come from the community. So public goods was something that we had so many people say that this is what we're going to buy. And we reached out to them and negotiated the best deal that they've ever given, because, we're able to call and say, hey, we're 200,000 units, almost now. So what can we get? And that was how we were able to kind of get that deal in place. So we're fully listening to the community. We're trying to develop and build things that are easy. There's a lot of different things that are out there, from hiring an interior designer to, I don't know, the different types of buying, but we're trying to develop the ones that we see the most use for and the biggest use case for. So one thing I will say is hopefully we're trying to do this thing where we want to build, I'm giving away everything right now. So I'm 90% sure this is all going to happen, but we're trying to build HostGPO houses. And so the idea is for our members to be able to, in your local city, like go to the house and, try out all the stuff. And also one of the perks of being a member would be that you'd be able to, stay at one of these houses when you're traveling, which we think is a cool concept. So I am involved, all that to say, like, I am very involved still in the business, still in the industry. And I think that I've done so many vacation rentals, and I've worked with Airbnb on pilot programs, and with Airbnb Lux. I was the first Airbnb Plus house in LA and the first Airbnb Lux house in LA, and so like I've been through all the iterations of all this stuff, and so I've kind of seen all the different, just the evolution of the industry, and I think a lot of that is kind of captured in what we're trying to do, because before you could put anything on vacation rental sites. You could put anything on Airbnb and it was going to rent. 7 years ago, you could literally put anything on Airbnb and somebody would rent. That's just not the case anymore. And it's not to say that the industry isn't great or isn't as good as it is. It's just evolved and people's expectations are higher, and the bare minimum of what you need to do is just higher. And I think that's good for everybody, honestly. It's good for hosts because I think that it's bringing more reputation and credibility into our industry. And it's actually bolstering how many people are willing to stay at vacation rental units when they know that the standard of what they're going to get is actually what's in the picture. And I think it's good for, it's good for guests because they have less headaches. We're building trust on both sides. So all that to say, I think that the level of the vacation rental industry has really increased over the years, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I love it. I think there was a couple questions. Kristen, do you still have a question?
Yeah, well, it was more of a comment because he was touching on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. I have 2 midterm rentals right now, and I fully furnished one of them like 2 weeks ago. And I really wish I would have known about all of this stuff because it was a 2-bed, 2-bath, and then 2 living rooms. So the living rooms got expensive with the couches. And so I was like, okay, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, all of that stuff. I still spent like $10,000 doing the whole house. And like with the sheets and everything from like Amazon Basics, like you were talking about, and like all of the pots and pans and stuff like that. And then I started to think, like, after I bought the furniture, like the dining room table and the chairs from Facebook Marketplace, like if one of these gets broken, I'm not going to be able to like replace it. I'd have to buy a whole new thing. So I'm like stoked to hear about this. So that was just kind of a comment that I was going to make.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And I totally, empathize with that and have gone through similar, experiences. So I think that that's a big part of the reason why we're building this. And it's not perfect. We're still growing. It's still a startup. It's not by any stretch of the imagination what it's going to be, but it's been really, really cool to grow so quickly and have so many people signing up and really try to incorporate, like what Savannah was saying, like incorporate all that feedback into here. And that's really what Kristen said about like trying to replace items is one. My favorite one is what I call Wayfair roulette, where you just buy some nightstands that look like they're nightstands and then they come and they're like kids furniture. Because I've had that happen. I'm like ready to launch my listing and like the nightstand is like, for like a dollhouse, which is just the worst. It's like, what are you going to do? Like return it? Anyways, we're trying to help people standardize and help streamline that ordering process and just, the running around and the time searching and buying and stuff. And yeah, it's great to like color up the unit here and there with, certain pieces, but, and we try to get like all the core essentials there for you.
I love how you're solving this extreme pain point for short-term rental operators. Jeff, are there any markets that you don't service, like, or are you all over the nation? Are there, like, I'm in the Smoky Mountains, would you have issues, like, delivering to those
No,
places?
tons of members in the Smoky Mountains, tons of design pilot programs going on in the Smoky Mountains. So we're all over the US and Canada right now. And we are very, very hopeful that we'll be announcing our next territory soon. And so that's been really exciting. Canada has most of our options. A couple of our vendors won't ship to Canada, but pretty much everybody will.
So here's a question I want to ask you, because you're talking about possibly going to another country here, but a lot of us are just looking for deals, right? Are you noticing any trends, like operators are putting all these high-end furnishings in this city, or noticing any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I like to call it the Joshua Treeification of like other cities. So if you go to Joshua Tree, everything looks like a West Elm catalog, right? And so what's really interesting is to see the Smokies and the Poconos and Blue Ridge, Georgia, and Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and all of these like really hot vacation rental markets, Gatlinburg, right? They're all changing from, a lot of them, especially up in the Smokies, these like the log furniture, like the actual like log beds, I personally think is the most insane thing ever, because those log beds are so expensive.
They're ridiculously expensive.
They're ridiculous, and you can buy like
$1,500 or something.
Yeah, they're absurd, and you can buy a reclaimed wood Pottery Barn industrial, chic cabin bed frame that looks so much more elegant, in my opinion, I think most renters' opinion, for less. And so what we see happening a lot is people really moving away from the, I'm going to put a cabin in a, and make it styled like a cabin, and doing more things like, how do I, elevate and kind of upgrade this unit to make it look like what people want to, stay in, and make it look like when you go to Airbnb.com, right? The pictures that they put up there, they're putting those up there for a reason, because that's what people want to rent. And so, people really trying to create those curated stays. And again, like a partner like Society6, one of the reasons why we partner with them is because you can. So for those of you that don't know what Society6 is, it's an open marketplace for artists. And so rather than go to Austin, Texas, and stay in an Airbnb that has a picture of the Eiffel Tower on the wall, right? You can go to Austin, and the host can buy art from Society6 that is, from Texas artists or Austin artists, or features things that aren't just like the cattle or like the Marilyn Monroe picture or any iteration of IKEA art over the last, decade. And so you really can start to curate and develop more local feels. So here's some like random stats, right? So somebody would, there have been a lot of studies on this. People would rather stay at a stay that feels local than a stay that feels luxury. So that's like a big one. People will book a unit that emphasizes or is sustainable over one that isn't. So public goods is a great example of that. Like if you have sustainable, eco-friendly products as opposed to, one-use products, that's something that's trending right now. So there are all these kind of indicators for what's going to create a successful rental, and we try to incorporate that however we can. I think I really got away from that question, and I apologize, but I think that there was something in there.
What about like, we have a cabin under contract, and it was supposed to be built already, but we're like months away. Should we start ordering stuff, and does it get stored? Or if you're buying from all of these places like Pottery Barn, West Elm, I mean, does it come together? What does that process look like?
Excellent question. So if you should start thinking about, okay, if you're going to do the design program, as long as you give yourself 8+ weeks, and if you want to start that process earlier, that's the best way to do it overall. If you're doing over $15,000 worth of purchasing, you should just really have that managed through the design program by a West Elm or Pottery Barn designer, because they will make sure that everything gets ordered and consolidated at the right time. Absent that, it's kind of a complex structure to the right way to do it, but we and everybody on our HostGPO team can help walk you through that. So what it really looks like is, let's say you're going outside of the design services program and you're ordering over $10,000 worth of furniture. Then all of a sudden from, and I'm only talking about furniture because everything else is 2-week shipping, max. So you order your mattress, it's going to be there in 2 weeks. That stuff doesn't really matter and you can order it whenever. But furniture is really the like Tetris piece right now. And so there's a couple ways to kind of slice and dice that. And the best thing I can tell you is if you're ordering over $10,000 in furniture, regardless of whether or not you go through the interior design program, there are business shipping options that are available to you through the Williams-Sonoma partners to do things like consolidate all of your items together, including the shipping breaks up into two channels. It's like if you order a pillowcase, that just gets shipped regular via UPS. If you order a couch, that gets shipped with flat rate delivery. So once you order over $10,000, you can have all of that consolidated, which is one option. Separate from that, what a lot of folks will do is they'll wait and order the smaller stuff, the pillowcases, the lamps, whatever, those types of items from West Elm or otherwise. They'll order those a few weeks out when they're going to be able to receive the packages at the house, because those things usually ship very quickly. And then they'll order all of the furniture at once, so you pay a flat rate shipping. And what West Elm and Pottery Barn do is they will consolidate the whole order and warehouse and hold it for you until you're ready to have it installed. Now, there's a caveat there, which is if you try to leave your stuff with them for like 2 months in a warehouse and you're like not going to take it, they're not going to, and there's a limit to how long they're willing to do that, but they will hold it for you until the last item gets there. As far as the flat rate delivery goes, they'll hold everything for you until the last item gets there, and then you can schedule the delivery whenever you want, and they will come out and bring all of the furniture, flat rate furniture items for you. So that's kind of the really quick version. And on an onboarding call or with the HostGPO team, we're happy to go through that more slowly and in greater detail. I think we have a blog post about like how to do West Elm shipping too, which I can share.
So what brands do you plan to add in the near future?
Great question. We are, I don't think I can announce today, but we are about to add a fantastic solution for, what do I call it? Supplies. So like, everything from paint to air conditioner filters, and like a hardware store, a big hardware store, a big national hardware store. So that hopefully we'll be able to announce in the next couple of weeks. And usually our announcements, for those of you that are members, we send out an email every month that has like, these are the new deals and this is the change. And sometimes our deals get upgraded because we buy so much. And so that kind of stuff usually goes out once a month. So a hardware partner, we're really excited to possibly launch the first electronics partner soon. We're pretty close on that one. And that is not going to be TVs, but it will be things like thermostats and locks and cameras probably. From this one person. So we're going there. And then I'm really hopeful. It's okay. So we had a great deal with Home Depot, but Home Depot and HD Supply merged. And so after they merged, our deal became subsumed into HD Supply. And then the deal was really not good. And so we ended up pulling that deal. And so this deal is going to replace the Home Depot deal, or at least be part of the way to replacing it. Again, part of the benefit of being in a GPO is that we do that negotiation on behalf of the group, because you can't just triple the pricing on our group and expect us to keep going. So those are some of them. Again, like it would be cool to get like biz filings or set up your LLTs, or for those of you that are scaling, right, like Slack is super helpful. Because it allows you to communicate with your team. So we'll try to get business solutions and stuff as well, but the main ones are electronics, maybe appliances, and this hardware deal.
How much is your subscription? Membership.
So if you have 10 units or less, which I think is most of the people in here, it is $120 a year total.
Awesome. Wow.
And if you
totally
have, I think
worth it. Totally worth
yeah.
it. You're gonna save right off the bat.
you're going to save more than that. And again, there's a 3-month free trial. There's no commitment and you have full access to everything in your first 3 months. But we have like, I don't know what a normal unsubscribe rate is, but we don't really have a lot of people unsubscribe unless it's like, oh, I didn't actually close on, or I sold my vacation rental company, right? That's like the only reason people I've seen unsubscribe. So
Okay.
Anybody else?
I just see maybe one last question here and then we'll wrap it up. Someone said they booked a call, an onboarding call. What can they expect from the first call?
So what you should expect from the first call, there's also, do you have to have a minimum number of units to join? So in general, you have to have 3 or more units to join. That being said, we can make exceptions, especially for people that are part of groups like this, like Alex's Facebook group. We can make exceptions, especially for people that are setting up new units. So I encourage you to make a call, schedule an onboarding, and we'll see how and if you are watching this and you are a part of Alex's group, please tell us that you're a part of Alex's group and you watch this podcast. That is a good way for us to know that you are a professional in the space and that we might be able to make the exception for you. And then I get that question all the time, Frederick. Then the other question about scheduling an onboarding call and what you should expect is during that onboarding call, you'll meet with somebody from our membership team, and everybody at HostGPO has either run vacation rentals, worked at a giant vacation rental company, is currently running vacation rentals. This is all we do is speak vacation rentals. And so we'll go through your listing with you and talk about where you are in your journey and what you're trying to buy and answer specific questions. Because some people are going to have questions about, mattresses, and some people are going to have questions about, which types of sheets to get. And so that's really what the membership onboarding call is about. We'll show you how to use the website. Again, it's for this group, I'm sure very intuitive, but a lot of people, it's different, right? It's not as streamlined as like going to a website and there's like one shopping cart for everything, right? It's here's a coupon code here, or here's how to upgrade your account there, or here's an order form for this brand. And part of that is just us trying to fit HostGPO into each of these brands. So the onboarding call is like how to use our website, and then what are you looking for, and can we answer any questions? We do not have a jacuzzi partner. I would say that we get asked for jacuzzis about a dozen times a week. So that's not even a stretch of a weird question. I would love to have a jacuzzi partner. If anybody knows of somebody that is looking to sell tens of thousands of jacuzzis, please feel free to send them our way. We're working on a jacuzzi solution. I think that's it. Nadia, just full hype over there. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Nadia saved more than $120 just by ordering her desk and chair for her home office. Thank you. So yeah, I think that's Alex. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Super helpful. I get excited when I hear about this stuff because I don't know how many days I've spent setting up my cabins or short-term rentals, 20-hour days putting furniture together. So I think you're solving, like I said, an extreme pain point. But how do people get a hold of you, Jeff?
So first of all, hostgpo.com, sign up, schedule an onboarding call. If you have questions and you want an immediate response, there's a live chat on there. And I say immediate, but business hours immediate, and live chat in, and somebody will get back to you. If not right away, then the next day with whatever the answer to your question is. If you want to talk to me, Jeff@hostgpo.com. I'm happy to talk to anybody. And if you have specific questions or you want to talk shop or whatever, I'm always happy to talk about anything in the space. I mean, we don't really partner with like property management software or pricing software or that kind of stuff yet, because I don't think that there's one flavor for everybody. So those types of things I'm always happy to give guidance on if I can. And this is happy to share whatever knowledge that I can for the space.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your time. Thank you everyone for being here. Definitely reach out to him, take him up on the offer. $120 is nothing to get into that community. And also the onboarding call sounds awesome. Oh, he just dropped the link in the chat. So make sure you guys save that if you're interested in looking forward to any of his services that he has. Next week, we have our networking events. So it will just be networking. We'll break into some breakout groups. When we did a poll in our Facebook group, people were really excited about this. This was like the most demanded ask from the group was more networking events. So we actually have a couple of them next month. So come and join us next Monday. It'll be super fun kind of getting to know each other and where we're investing and sharing resources. And really want to give a special shout out to the OGs in this group that I see every week. Lenny the boss, Brad Peralta. I've never heard you come off mute, but I see your face here every single Monday. Stephanie Cruz. There's a bunch of you guys that we see here every Monday. It's super cool to see that you guys are getting something out of this and keep coming back. Alex, any parting words?
No, and we've been thinking about doing some like live in-person meetup, so we'll probably start doing that. I just came from a live in-person meetup where I was guest speaker and Nadia was there, so we got to meet, and so we'll work on that too.
Yeah, awesome. All right, you guys, thank you. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Of course. Yeah. Take care, everybody.